My 31F husband, 35M, and his parents act like they don't care about my sister-in-law, 29F. They will act polite, they ask her obligatory questions like, "How are you?" or "How's work?" But it's obvious they don't actually care. I even had to remind all of them about her birthday, and the presents my husband proposed and my Mill and Phil got her were so impersonal. Worst of all, they literally took us to a steakhouse for her birthday and she's a vegan. Their treatment has led to near constant arguments between me and my husband. His excuses are such bullshit too. He just says she's got her own things going on and so does he, or that she isn't an interesting person. Whenever I've talked to her, she has come off as a really funny and nice person, maybe a little standoffish at first, but since she's opened up to me I've really enjoyed her company. Anyways, I was talking to my cousin, and they referred to this as weird fixation, and told me I am overreacting. They recommended I just drop it, or it'll be the death of my marriage, but I can't stop thinking about it. I think you should lead by example. Include her wherever you can, hang out whenever you want. When they say something disparaging about her, respond with something like, "What an odd thing to say," or, "That has not been my experience with her," and say something when they do something insensitive towards her. I already do this to an extent, but I could probably be better about it. I am not great in social situations, so if this parent says something I have a hard-ish time speaking out. I don't understand all the selfish answers here telling you to not let this get in the way of your marriage. Doesn't it matter that the person you're married to is a good, kind, considerate person? How he treats his sister is a good window into how he treats people that he was taught was below him being golden child, her being scapegoat. The fact that he refuses to reflect and actually argues and gives excuses makes me think he isn't interested in learning to be better. He just wants the status quo where he gets to help the family bully the sister. I'd be very disappointed in my partner if I found out that they treat people like this. This OMG. If I even so much see my partner be rude to a waiter, waitress for no reason, I'm dipping out. Greater than I've talked to her, she has come off as a really funny and nice person. Led by example and initiate positive interactions. My husband used to yell at his younger brother a lot. Over the years I just pointed it out here and there. Asked him why. Asked him maybe to discuss things in a different way. And that he is nice and not to yell. After a couple years he thought about it and agreed. And doesn't yell at him anymore. Just focus on your relationship with her. Just asking, but are you guys by any chance Asians? I'm Korea BTW, and in the old days boys were considered more important than girls because they carried the family's last name. Things have changed of course, but underneath it still lingers in Korean society. If you are American, most likely your husband was the golden child or your parents' favorite. I have a twin sister and she was my parents' golden child. I did nothing but argue with my parents, especially my dad. But I was my grandmother's golden child, so she treated me better. This thing is damn complicated now that I think about it. As much as I liked a certain family, and as rough as things had been for them, it always seemed that the third child was bad child that everybody was down upon. That's what this post reminded me of. Your husband and your in-laws are assholes. Not sure what you can do about that. Other than be a friend to your sister-in-law and decide if it's really worth it to stay in this family, given that they are assholes. If you're going to have children, you will have to protect them. Be her friend and help her open up. When you all hang out, ask her questions in front of everyone. Care, you already do. Hopefully they'll realize she's not boring, she's just nervous around people. Sometimes you gotta give someone a chance to get others to. Don't fight, force your husband to be her friend, but if you want her to be included, include her. This is such a weird situation. She's nervous around her family. That she grew up with. Sounds like more is going on. I understand why you can't drop it, but you can't actually force him to treat her better. And if I'm being honest, even if you do drop it, you're just going to grow to resent him for it. Sorry, I don't have an answer, but I don't think there's an easy fix here. All you can do is keep being her friend. Your husband is clearly the golden child and loves it. My younger brother was like that too, and used it to his advantage at times. He's thankfully grown out of it, but since your husband is a grown man and allows this dynamic to go on, I would really keep your eye out for him, and maybe if you have plans for kids, wait for it. I would just connect with your sil more and, like someone else here said, call out certain comments about her. not necessarily confronting him, but just so they know that their behavior is being noticed and that it's weird. If that means the end of your marriage, so be it. I personally wouldn't want to be with someone who lacks compassion anyways, cause one day they'll turn on me. If you two are planning to have children, this does not bode well for how they'll be treated if your husband and his parents perceive any of them as different, or not interesting, or too girly, not girly enough. I hope you're planning to be child-free with this man. I was going to say this. It's not a good look. My eldest brother is like this to me, and no, he wasn't the golden child, that belonged to my other brother. His first and second wife pointed out his, and my sister, treatment of me. There were always excuses, the age gap, me living in a city, assumptions that were unfounded that became gossip. After the third wife it was pointed out that the treatment of the ex-wives and his kids is the same as the treatment of me. And #X200B. The overused statement when someone shows you who they are believe them, applies. He has nothing to gain from a relationship with his sister, so this is his default treatment of women. Something's in the past happened that they are not telling you about. Who is in the wrong, I have no idea. I guess it's possible, but it doesn't seem like they dislike her, more they're just not focused on her. I'm the third child and black sheep of my family and it sucks. Nice to have other PPL recognize that's the case. My whole childhood my mom has told me that they only had me because they wanted a son. And I'm the third girl. My little brother is the son, obviously. So, yay. It means a lot when people recognize that my family is behaving poorly. For years I've convinced myself that it's okay my parents don't really love me. Probably because I don't deserve love. But when I met my husband, I realized it's not true. I'm worthy of love and respect. Just as much as my siblings do. Be aware of your spouse and his parents don't end up treating any of your children like that too. There's only two sides to this. 1. Your husband and his family are all assholes for treating her like shit. 2. She really isn't the person you think she is, and they passively hate her for a reason or multiple reasons and just stop giving a shit about her. So why take her anywhere for her birthday in the second case? Why not let her spend time with people who like her at a place that serves food she can eat? Yeah, I'm the sister-in-law in my family and it just sucks. Is she the middle child, too? I'm glad she has at least one person sticking up for her. I'd certainly judge my spouse for behaving this way. Consider your husband might carry over this mentality to your own children if you want them in the future. And that steakhouse dinner was not an accident, by the way. The reason you can't stop thinking about it is because you can sense there's something else going on. I'm guessing she's probably more left politically than they are as well, right? You said they have an annoying old money attitude with narcissistic tendencies. The son is the golden child and he prefers it that way. These people are textbook and they sound exactly like my parents. You even mentioned a hospital story in a comment which happened to me as well, except it was my kidney. This sounds exactly like my family, although my brother is less purposeful about it. You can message me if you want if the comments get locked. How are his parents as human beings elsewise? Because you just perfectly described the family dynamic of someone raised by narcissists. I don't know what would actually identify someone to be narcissistic personality disorder, but in a purely anecdotal way his parents are a bit narcissistic. They have this annoying quasi-old money vibe, which makes them really vain. Be the one that gets her the thoughtful gift for Christmases and birthdays. Be the one that encourages her to try new things and relationships. Divorce the husband. Date the sister instead. Sounds like she may be the scapegoat, rejected child in the family. They treat her like crap, and aren't kind to her and treat every other child kindly, dote over them and do everything for them. Just be there for her, let her know you're around to support and have her back. If they mistreat her or disregard her feelings, keep a mental note. Ask her how she feels and what's her opinion on it before you go jumping in. Sounds like there's a dynamic that you need to understand, so watch and take note. If you ever need to stand up for her, do so, but without your husband's support just know you can join her on the outside real quick. You don't know the full truth here and none of the people commenting do either. It's possible that he's the golden child or the black sheep, but she could be a total piece of shit. Just because she's nice around you doesn't mean she's nice all the time. And just because she's nice now, doesn't mean she wasn't an asshole before. You didn't grow up with her. Ask my mother about my younger brother. Oh, he's just different. He's just busy with his own life, or people that meet him saying, he's a fun guy with a weird sense of humor. You all didn't grow up with him. He's a piece of shit. I would gladly rearrange his face every time I see him if it wasn't for my mother who expects me to be respectful. My brother is a former drug addict and dealer, he stole from people, he had white supremacist tattoos, said racist shit all the time, and hung out with the worst scum. He was born and raised in a fairly liberal family in Canada, never left the country and had a Confederate America flag tattoo for over a decade. Your husband might just be acting polite because his parents expect it and he doesn't want to upset them. Some people treat family in a certain way. After all, they grew up together and maybe you don't know the full extent of what lives they had. Maybe the sister did things growing up that has made your husband and his parents lose love for her. Blood is the only thing keeping them together. You can take a horse to water but you can't make it drink. I believe you should treat people how they treat you, and if you want a relationship with the sister then you have one, but I would limit trying to force your husband to have a relationship with her if he doesn't want it. Don't cause potential problems in your marriage for this.